Inside and outside are the personnel and sometimes media like us. They will never ever leave this building. If you see their look, you can see the emptiness in their soul. They don't have any hope towards future. They look very robotic. Their life is so monotone.
This open corner is their toilet area.
They have like 2 toilets for 80 inmates. It's literally humiliating these inmates. Like their whole confidence is disciplined here.
The same place where they use the toilet is also where they take showers. To clean themselves, they use plastic dippers in a single shared basin. There's no running water in the cells, so the prisoners have to rely on one blue barrel for drinking water.
You think it's hard being in a holding cell, right? So you get booked. Go down central bookings. You're going cell to cell as you're getting processed, right? They move you this cell to that cell. They take your vitals and all that, see if you need any medication. They classify you, trying to figure out where to send you, right? Your fingerprinted and stuff. Take your picture. You're getting processed. You're going cell to cell to cell as you work your way up to get sent to a tier, a cell block, or some type of dorm, right? But in that process, while you're in these holding cells, you're in there with a bunch of men sharing one toilet, sleeping on the floor. And intake is probably, you got people going through withdrawals, people, domestic violence all scratched up and bleeding, probably got their ass whipped by the police. You got people acting crazy because they probably were just in a police chase. You know what I'm saying? They're getting brought in, different types of people getting brought in from all over the city or whatever. So you got a mixed multitude, right? And then, people holding their piss and shit for the most part. People, because the bathroom is like kind of in the open. There's a little wall and, everybody in the same little space. So people typically don't shit. But I know every place is kind of different, but it's similar in that regard of you just being in close quarters with different men. And then you get on the cell block. You get your blanket, you get your pillow. You get took into your bed, top or bottom bunk, or some type of tote, depending if you're sleeping in the dorm and they got you all packed up in there. But the point of the matter is there's a form of comfort, right? You get to call your family. You get to talk to your lawyer, see what's going on, or your public defender. You get to get some money on your books and order some canteen. When you ain't got the food, you get medical treatment, right? You get your little psychiatrist, whatever. You get to get glasses, go to the dentist. 3 hots in the cot. You get visits. Say you get some time, you get sent to prison. You get visits. Your family come to see you, start to look good. You ain't aged a year. You just in the best health that you've been your whole life. You know how to read now. You went to school. But imagine if prison was like this supermax prison in El Salvador. Imagine that certain crimes would send you to that prison. From what I understand about this prison, that is only one way in there. And the only way you coming out is in a box. El Salvador had a whole lot of gangs going back and forth that it just got out of control. They're warrior class. Warring with each other. Combine that with poverty and all the other elements, boom. This got out of control. People can walk the streets. And in 2022, that new president changed his mind about the whole situation. Cleaned everything up. My question to you is, what if we had the same type of system here in America? Do you think that would curb crime? Please let me know in the comments. Do you think this would curb crime? Do you think that the way we are governed now, that it wouldn't be equal and fair treatment, and the majority of the people that's in these situations would be black and brown people. But if we had a just and fair and equal system, do you think this would be appropriate for America? Do you think this would curb heinous crimes? Because think about it across the board, because we got states and states' rights. Some places are liberal, where, with certain crimes, we just give you 80 life sentences and 1,000,000 years on top of that, but we won't put you to death. We'll take care of you till you die. In other places, in other states, they have the death penalty. You get the gas chamber. From what I understand, it smell like pine cones or something. You get lethal injection, like 3 needles, one to put you to sleep, and another needle to do something else. Then boom, you're gone. Back in the day, they had the electric chair. We could see in a lot of these situations where people was executed unfairly. Like, we got a lot of chinks in our armor when it comes to our justice system. But let's say hypothetically we can fix it, right? And make it fair and equal, right? Because that's the only pushback we'll get. Because we all want safe streets, right? We don't want to throw kids in there. I think in the beginning, if we did have a system like this, in the beginning, a lot of people are going to be gone. How they say that come to Jesus moment. For people to understand that this is real, you're never coming home. Like, no exceptions. Like, this is where you go. If you do this, you're going there. Point blank. It don't matter who you are. We teach the kids about it early on. Across the board. Trump was talking to the president, El Salvador, because you had one alleged gang member, when ICE was gripping everybody up within his first 100 days of his presidency, shipping people back, right? And that's when this prison became popular, where they all sitting in this cell, not doing nothing. They can't go nowhere, just staring, right? Taking baths in brick tubs, taking shits right next to the tub. No pillows, no blankets. These guys are just all in there, 80 men in a box, and they are going to die there. So one dude that was a Marylander was sent there, and they were saying that he wasn't a gang member, and some symbols on his hands was interpreted as gang member literature. But that's neither here. I'm not here to talk about the mechanics of that. It's just that, it brought a lot of attention to that prison. And Trump was even sitting down with the president. He brought him here to the White House, and he was talking. They had a meeting or whatever. But he was talking about sending people there. Do you think people who have life sentences, in my personal opinion, I say no, but people who have life sentences should get shipped there? Do you think that we need to strip the basic rights in prison away from people because they committed a crime? Meaning that these people in this prison system don't get no visits. They don't see the light of outside. This is how it looks every day, all day. Do you think this will curb crime? Should we create a system where, depending on what it is a 1-strike rule, 2-strike rule? And let me explain what I mean. Let's say you really don't understand, but we send you here, and we say to you, look, this can be the rest of your life. And of course, your family gonna be upset. You won't get letters. You can't write letters, but you're there. You ain't gotta worry about you getting stabbed up or getting in gang violence. This is not happening. You're not going to get to do organized crime. But you're going there. And you sit there for a year. And then you understand that, hey, This is not the moves I want to make. I want to go to school. I want to go fishing. I want to do something different with my life. And I'm gonna be honest as well. Like, yo, I've been to prison before. Ain't the best place, right? It's not really a place of reform unless you choose to make it into a place of reform. Right now, they're proposing that COs wear body cameras. And COs whoop people ass. But I think it's more or less the corruption in the sense that, yo, if you look on TikTok and X and stuff like that, even Instagram, you got guys in there cooking food, getting food from outside, different stuff, cooking, big giant knives, dancing around, walking people on dog leashes, all kinds of stuff. Troy Lanez just got stabbed up 14 times yesterday. So he in there, from what I understand, living like a king, putting hits out on people and all kinds of stuff, putting money on books, living like a king. So is it really punishment? It is. But I'm saying from the sense of, like, certain people get to live differently depending on how strong you is and what group you in and what connections you have with the outside world, hence the COs. So now you're getting stuff brought in, people in there on drugs, and they got the internet. I think now in prison they have tablets and stuff. You get TVs, you can pay for cable. It'll step on the business part of it, right? Where these different companies get to sell commissary, televisions, radios, and now tablets and different things like that into the prison system based on the money they make when they work the jobs in prison and the money that family members send. Do you think if we take the business out of it and really make some tough punishment, do you think a lot of people that have life right now, tell me in the comment section, they got life right now, would have really thought about picking that gun up and busting that move? Do you know if prison was like this extreme, that I'm pretty sure that I would have made different decisions early on. I don't want to do that. You'll have moms and dads, grandmas, uncles, aunts going crazy out in the streets. We haven't talked to JoJo in a year. But I bet JoJo come home reformed because JoJo do not want to go back to that place. He do not want to go back to that place. I mean, it's two sides to it, like the family element, because, you know, you go there and you lose people. You don't get to go to mom's funeral. Grandma died. But I think changes in society go hand in foot with the changes in the penal system. Yes, we need to crack down on gangs and all the different politics that happen in the prison, right? Really make it a place for reform if we want to reform people. Or we go the extreme. You go and don't come out. All right. Some of the pros is, if you look at what happened in El Salvador, it's great now. It's great. You know, there they really can't yell the racism thing. That's not, I mean, it does exist. Tribalism, bigotry, all this stuff exists. So we're not dismissing it. But there, because it's basically an ethno state, all of the people are amalgamation of what they are. And they're the same. So that element is out of it. Everybody looks the same, right? So that element is out of it. We can't say, hey, we're being treated unfair by a different group. So the other thing would be, it would have to start, the change would have to start on the ground with everybody's policed the same. And everybody's treated fair and equally when it comes to how we enforce law, right? Then maybe your first time you get to go to a regular jail or regular prison, right? Or depending on what crime you commit, you go to that. Or maybe everybody first time they go to that. And we try to curve violence and burglaries and all that stuff. Like certain type of crimes, you just go in there, period. I don't know. Just tell me what you guys think. I think that we do need prison reform. I think we shouldn't throw people away. However, I think we really need to encourage these young guys, regardless of what the street culture is trying to put in their ears, have them crashing out, throwing their lives away. It got to be a real consequence. We can't save this generation of men, right? Because they got their mind made up. But at least we can save the next generation of men and let them know you don't want to go here. If you do this, this is going to happen. And this is one way, unfortunately, of doing it. You get 20 years in that. You come home, people don't even know you. Who want to go through that? So just make people think a little bit more, because prison and death is glamorized until when you talking about it and looking at it from the outside. But when you that person in a position trying to get out of there, right, it's different. And then you don't get I don't know, free Bill Vicks. Tell me what you think in the comments.